So we are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 16, the divine and demoniac natures. So there are 3 verses together, and already the last few days, so they were discussed. So I will, what we'll do, we'll just chant one time through the verses. I will first say one line, and then you can repeat one line, and then we'll do the translation, and then we'll read part of the purport. So, 16th chapter, text 1 to 3. 1 to 3. Sri Bhagavanu Vachang Abhayam Sattva Samsudhir Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti Dhanam Damascha Yagyascha Svadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyama Krodas Tyaga Shantira Paishunam Daya Budesha Loluptvam Madhavam Harir Achaparam Teja Kshamadriti Socham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly man endowed with divine nature. So, already some of these wonderful qualities, they were discussed the last few days. So all of them are actually important, and actually all these qualities, they will naturally manifest in a devotee who is cultivating transcendental knowledge, who is engaged in devotional service. Of course, the pure devotees who have come here from the spiritual realm, being sent by Prabhupada, empowered by Prabhupada, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, So the great devotees, representatives of the Lord, they will already have these qualities. Because these are transcendental qualities which the self-realized souls are always having or manifesting. So, but the sadhakas, so they have to try to purify their existence so that naturally they will manifest. Or they have to know about them so they may see that slowly but surely these qualities are manifesting. And so we will read from where the last speaker stopped. So I think it was, let me see, Dhamma, yes, is that right? Dhamma. So then as far as Dhamma, self-control, is concerned, it is not only meant for other orders of religion, religious society, but it is especially meant for the householders. Although he has a wife, a householder should not use his senses for sex life unnecessarily. There are restrictions for the householders even in sex life, which should only be engaged in for the propagation of children. If he does not require children, he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods or more abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. This is not in the transcendental quality, but it is demoniac. If anyone, even if he is a householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget a child without the purpose of serving Krishna. If he is able to beget children who will be in Krishna consciousness, one can produce hundreds of children. But without this capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure. Sacrifice is another item to be performed by the householders. Because sacrifices require a large amount of money. Those in other orders of life, namely brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyas, have no money. They live by begging. So performance of different types of sacrifices meant for the householders. They should perform Agnihotra sacrifices as enjoined in the Vedic literature. But such sacrifices at the present moment are very expensive. And it is not possible for any householder to perform them. The best sacrifice recommended in this age is called Sankirtan Yagya. This Sankirtan Yagya, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, is the best and most inexpensive sacrifice. Everyone can adopt it and derive benefit. So these three items, namely charity, sense control and performance of sacrifice, are meant for the householder. Then Svadhyay, Vedic study, is meant for brahmacharya or student life. Brahmacharis should have no connection with women. They should live a life of celibacy and engage the mind in the study of Vedic literature for cultivation of spiritual knowledge. This is called Svadhyay. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshodan Militam Yanam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sabarantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutabadagamanan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaganvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Ganta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So these divine qualities, the divine nature of a devotee is mentioned here by Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his devotee Arjuna. So, and as Prabhupada has explained also in this purport in the beginning, so that Divana Ashram Dharma is there, in which actually every living entity who is in human form of life is actually situated. Everyone has to be in one varna and one ashram. But Krishna has to be in the center. So we can see that, especially in India, many times persons, they are advertising varna ashram, but they may not necessarily be fully engaged in serving the Lord. So, and then it is explained in the Bhagavad-Gita, in the scriptures, then it is shrama eva kevalam. So it is practically almost useless work. But Krishna has to be in the center, Hari Toshanam. Krishna has to be, or Hari has to be satisfied by those who are then performing their prescribed duties according to Varna Ashram. And so Prabhupada is then further explaining about the sannyasis, so that they have to purify their existence, they have to cultivate knowledge, especially the sannyasis, and then have to distribute this knowledge to others. And then, explained is here, and Prabhupada has mentioned three things: charity, self-control, and sacrifice. They have to be performed by the householders. So the householders, they have to work according to their position, their varna. So they have to be engaged in some occupation by which they will get some money. So they have to earn money to take care of the household, to take care of the family. But then Prabhupada is explaining, so that so they are earning money, but then they should also give charity. So even the brahmanas, the householders, So they were worshipping the deities, they're studying the scriptures, and they're doing yagyas. So the brahmanas, so they engage in these brahminical activities. So, but then they should teach also. They should give knowledge. They should teach how to worship the scriptures and how to do yagyas. And then they may get some remuneration, some donation, and then they have to give in charity also. Even the brahmanas. So that is a true brahmana, householder. He's worshipping and teaching others. He's studying the scriptures and he's teaching others. And he's getting donations, and then he will give donations to qualified persons. So Prabhupada has mentioned charity should be given to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That is charity in the mode of goodness. That is actually becomes a spiritual, transcendental, if it is in Krishna consciousness. So the brahmanas, they will give, the householder, he will give to the spiritual master some charity from time to time. And the kshatriyas, so the kings or those who have to manage administration, so they are doing their duty, and then they will get some money, and then they have to give in charity to the brahmanas, especially also to the spiritual master, to the deities, and the vaishyas also. They are earning money, taking care, they are doing business, taking care of the fields, the cows, and they're selling the products, the milk, and then they will get some money. And they have to give some charity. Again, to the brahmanas, especially. Of course, they have to give to the king also some taxes, or nowadays to the government. And then the king and the government, they're supposed to do the necessary in the kingdom or the country. And the Shudras also, they're working and they're earning money and they have to give in charity. So that is for everyone. So for the householders especially. But even actually, so the sannyasis especially and the brahmacharis, so they are, the sannyasis, they are engaged in studying the scriptures, and it is their duty to give Krishna consciousness to others. And the brahmacharis, they are learning also from the spiritual master, from the teachers, and then they have to later also give this knowledge to others. So ultimately, and then of course in the Kali Yuga, the chanting of the holy names, the Mahamantra is the most important activity. So those who have gotten the Mahamantra, so they should chant nicely, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then they should, try to tell others to chant Hare Krishna. So that is the Sankirtan movement, distributing the holy names, telling others to chant the Mahamantra. So the sannyasis, in this way, this is also kind of, that is actually the greatest charity. And the spiritual master is doing that. He's giving Krishna to others. He's giving the holy names to others. Krishna Nam. So that is actually for everyone there. Sarva bhuta hite rataha, that is mentioned. Acting for the welfare of others. Not just for oneself, thinking about ourselves. No. But we try to serve the Lord, please the Lord, but then we should try to act for the welfare of others. We should try to help others. So, in this way actually everyone, they should be engaged in helping others, and in form of charity, giving money, or in form of giving knowledge or giving the holy names. Except maybe the vanaprasthas, by tradition, those who are retired, the householders, from household life, they will go to the forest, vanaprast, prasthan. They're going to the van, to the forest, to engage in the service of the Lord, to perform austerity. So they may not be so much engaged in then distributing also this knowledge to others. Because in the forest usually not so many people are there. But they may still chant Hare Krishna. They should, especially in Kali Yuga. And then they may chant loudly. And in this way, so that even the animals and the trees, they may get some benefit. So always in that mood one should be there to help others, to give others, or to serve those who are giving to others. So then here Dhamma, self-control. So everyone has to actually control the mind and the senses. That is important in spiritual life. Otherwise one cannot make advancement in spiritual life. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, so he has explained in the Nectar of Instruction, what is it? That we have to Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udarapasta vegam, etan vegan yaveshitarira, sarvam apivam pritvim shashishyat. That one has to control. Vacho, the speak. Vegam, the urge to speak. So it is natural that one wants to speak something, say something. Of course, some they are more inclined to speak than others, but still that should be controlled. Manasa, so actually one should speak about Krishna. One should recite the Vedic literatures. One should speak the truth. One should try to, with one words, of course, also try to help others. So give knowledge, give instructions, help others. And not talk unnecessarily, prajalpa. Manasa krodha vegam. Manasa krodha vegam. So the mind has to be controlled. And then krodha, the anger. Actually, there are 6 enemies of the mind. Kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mada, matsarya. So, Kam means material desires for sense gratification, for one's own sense gratification. Krodh, anger. Lobh, that is greed, too much eager to get some material things, acquiring something material for ultimately also one's sense gratification. So, but it is more intense than calm, because calm may be there, some desires may be there, but one may not try to make a great endeavor to get it. But when lobh is there, greed is there, by any means, then a person will try to get something and enjoy. So moha, illusion. So the conditioned soul is illusioned. But even those sadhakas, who are trying to become Krishna conscious, so sometimes they are attacked by the enemies, coming from the own mind. And then one becomes bewildered in what to do and what not to do. So they are constantly practically there, attacking the living entity. They are the real enemies of the living entity. So therefore they have to be controlled, they have to be subdued, they have to be neglected. So sometimes lusty desires may be there, but one should not try to fulfill, and one should not try to dwell on them, and one should try to avoid or be positively engaged in trying to serve Krishna or Krishna's devotees. Anger also has to be controlled. But it may be used in Krishna service. When the devotees are attacked by somebody else, then we may protect the devotee if we have the power. And in this way then show some anger also, and in this way engage anger in Krishna service. Mada, so madness. So the conditioned souls, many times he becomes mad. Of course, different degrees of madness are there. So one has to see that one can control all these things which are appearing in the consciousness from the mind. Matsarya, envy. So they have to be given up completely. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udharapasta vegam. Jiva vegam, the tongue. So wants to speak a lot, vacho. And also the other activity of the tongue is to eat something nice. That should be only in Krishna consciousness, by eating Krishna prasadam. Atasi Krishna namadi nabhavet griyan, what is it? Atasi Krishna namavid nabhavet griyam indriyai semumukhe jivado swayam eva sparatyataha. Atasi Krishna namadi. So first we have to chant the holy names, and then engage the tongue in chanting the holy names and in accepting Krishna prasad. Nabhavegriyam indriyai. By the material senses, we cannot understand Krishna. Not possible. With our material eyes, we cannot see Krishna. But the eyes have to become purified. All the senses have to be purified. Then we can perceive Krishna. Then we can see Krishna. We can hear Krishna playing the flute, Krishna talking. Then we can touch Krishna. Embrace Krishna. So when the senses are completely purified, so therefore the senses have to be engaged in Krishna service, and then Krishna will manifest. Spratyevadaha. So that starts with the tongue, by chanting the holy names and by accepting Krishna prasadam. And then the belly and the genitals have to be controlled. So one should not eat too much. So because otherwise, if the belly is too full, so there's a straight line, tongue, belly and genitals. So if the tongue is not controlled, and one is eating too much, then there will be, the sex impulse will be there, and one will want to engage in sex life. So but that has to be controlled. So for everyone, so especially the sannyasis and the brahmacharis and vanaprasthas, so there's no sex life for them. Not physically, of course, never, but even mentally, not thinking about that. Not looking lustfully at women, not speaking too much about women of this material world, except if we speak about great women in Krishna consciousness, like Draupadi, great devotee of Krishna, or in Golila, Ganga Mata Goswamini, Hemalata Thakurani, great Vaishnavis, Janavama, Nityananda's wife. So we can talk about them, think about them, glorify them, but not about, of course, those who are not in Krishna consciousness. So they have to try to avoid thinking about them, speaking about them, looking at them lustfully. So the sannyasi, vanaprasthis and the brahmacharis have to control that. So it is mentioned 8 kinds of sex life is there. So thinking about women too much, or looking at them lustfully, speaking about them so too much, so that is also a kind of sex life. So that has to be controlled, that has to be given up by the sannyasis and vanaprasthis and the brahmacharis. So but even the householders, as explained here by Prabhupada, so they have to control, and they should be engaged in Krishna service, and they are getting married according to the scriptures. With the blessings of the seniors, the elders, the parents, the Guru Jan, then they will get married, and then they may also then have children. They should have children. That is natural in the Grihastha ashram, that they will have children. So that is natural. So if one is getting married, then a child will come. But then the Garbhadan Sanskar has to be performed, the impregnation. So that also by taking the permission of the spiritual master or even the parents in the Vedic tradition. And then, so it is not by chance, so whenever one feels, one will engage in sex life. No, it is controlled. Even those who are Brahmanically inclined, those who are studying the scriptures, the Brahmanas, so they are then even consulting, for example, the Jyoti Shastra, the astrology. When is the good time, according to the astrology, to perform the Garbhadan Samskar? And so that is there in the scriptures. So controlled, with the blessings of the spiritual master, the elders and the Supreme Lord, praying to the Lord to have a child who will be a devotee then. So that is to be controlled also by the householders. So that is important, otherwise one will not be able to advance so much in spiritual life. So therefore it is for everyone to control the senses. So all the time and all the senses have to be controlled. So not too much eating, not too much sleeping, and not too much unnecessary talking, not too much hearing mundane things, mundane music or mundane talk, Grama Katha, but no, Krishna Katha. And then the thinking has to be controlled too. Thinking about Krishna, thinking about the seva, thinking about others, how to help others. That everyone has to do. The sannyasi, because they are more absorbed, for them it is more easy, they are naturally doing. So, but the brahmacharis have to cultivate that also, to control and to try to think about the service of the Lord, the spiritual master, and how to help others. And then the grihastas also. So they have the family, they have to take care of the family, but they have to try to serve the spiritual master. They have to serve the deities. They have to serve the guests. They have to help others. So in this way, when they are engaged in helping others, then they will be satisfied, and then they will be able to perform their spiritual activities nicely. And the senses and the mind are not agitated. Raso vajam raso piyasva param drishva nivatate vishaya nivatate nirahasya dehanaha. So we can give up this lower taste by having a higher taste. Otherwise it is not possible. So if you have namruchi, if you have taste for chanting the holy names, serving the deity, seva ruchi, serving the devotees, the spiritual master, helping others, then the lower taste will be not there. Then you will not try to eat too much or enjoy in this material world. No, that will not come. So we have to endeavor to control the mind and the senses, and that is only possible by having some positive engagement. Without engagement, without serving Krishna or the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas, it is not possible to control the mind and the senses. It is artificial, like the Mayavadis are doing. They are trying not to think about women, not to speak too much, not to eat too much, not to sleep too much. They may do to some extent, but there is every chance of falling down because they don't have positive engagement, and it is not natural. It is natural to serve Krishna. So if it is not there, the positive engagement, then every chance is there to engage in lower engagements. So therefore, but then even the devotees, so they have to try to see that they are always positively engaged in Krishna service, in thinking about Krishna and engaging all the senses in Krishna's service, like Ambarish Maharaj, Savai Mana Krishna Parada Vindayor, fixing the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, and then engaging all the senses in Krishna's seva. So then you are properly situated, and then there is no question of falling down. Like Ambarish Maharaj, he was very busy, but still he was a householder and he was married. He had 20 wives, but he was not giving so much time to them. He was giving time, but he was taking care of the kingdom. And he was worshipping the deities every day. Although many times rich people, they engage brahmanas, in India especially, to do they may have a temple and then they will engage the brahmanas in doing the seva. And they will just offer pranam. But actually it is better to also directly engage in the service of the Lord. So he was doing Ambarish Maharaj. And he gave a little time to his wives. So in this way, so we can control the senses by having some higher engagement. And then Krishna will be revealed. And then we can feel so much transcendental pleasure. And it starts all by chanting the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is the most important activity. So Nam Ruchi, we should have a taste for chanting the holy names. Not that, okay, chanting and then looking at the time, 6 o'clock, okay, I chanted 6 rounds, 45 minutes more, and then thinking about this and that. No, we have to be trying to speak nicely and hear nicely, and praying to Guru Gauranga Krishna so we can remember them, remember their wonderful qualities, their pastimes. So we have to try to chant nicely. That is important. And then Nam Ruchi Vaishnav Seva. Then serve the Vaishnavas, beg for their mercy. And Jiva Doya. Be merciful to the conditioned souls. Try to help others. And then Prabhupada is explaining about the sacrifice, another item which is there. So for the householders, they have to perform sacrifice. That is important. But actually, again the same. So here sacrifice, Prabhupada is mentioning about yagya. Yagya, performing yagyas. And the brahmachari, vanaprasthas and sannyasis, they don't do yagyas so much because they don't have so much money. But still, the guru will sometimes organize a yagya to initiate the disciples, to give a diksha, dikshanustan. Then there's a yagya there. So, if he may have only a few brahmacharis as disciples, he will do a simple ceremony. But yagya is there also. But the householders, they have more money, so they should do something more elaborate for the pleasure of the Lord. And then the different samskars are there, purificatory rites. So that has to be performed by the householders. So it's explained, Garbhadan samskar, and then when the woman is pregnant, Shimantanayan samskar, Pumsavana samskar. At that time usually one yagya is performed. And then other devotees are invited to get their blessings. So the wife may be healthy and the child also in the womb, and so that everything will go well at the time of the delivery. So that will give the good effect. The yagya is very purifying. And the blessings are there because whenever you do yagya, then Guru Gauranga and Krishna are worshipped. And then the yagya is done. Ahutis, grains are offered, ghee is offered to the fire. And then concluding activities are there. And then prasadam distribution is there. Donation is given to the priest or the Gurujan, the elders, or even to all those who are coming. So in this way it becomes auspicious. So yagya is important for the householders. They have to do. That's with the samskar, the different samskars, and at that time a yagya is performed. So, but then of course in Kali Yuga, because still even the householders, they don't have so much money. Nowadays even sometimes the sannyasis or brahmacharis have more money than the householders. So but still have to do the householders. But no problem, even if they don't have so much money, they keep it simple. But they should do, that is important. For themselves, for the family. So that should be done. But the most important, as Prabhupada is explained, that is the Sankirtan Yagya. And that is inexpensive. So you don't have to pay anything, only japamala. That is only 200-300 rupees. And that you buy only very, when you take initiation, that you buy a nice japamala. And that should be there for the whole life. So, not expensive. So, Nama Yagya Mahayagya Kala Kalvashanashanam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prityatam Nama Yagya Samarpanam. So, Nama Yagya Samarpanam. I'm offering this Nam Yagya, chanting the holy names. And that is the Mahayagya, the great Yagya, the great sacrifice. In this age of Kali, the chanting of the holy names. Krishna Vanam Tisa Krishnam Sangha Pankastapasada Yagya Sanketana Paya Yajante Sumeda Saha. In the Kali Yuga, those who are intelligent, they will perform the Sankirtan Yagya. And pleasing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prityartam, for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu, they are doing this Yagya. Kali Kalmasha Nashanam. And then the Kalmash, the dirty things in the heart, which are very prominent in the age of Kali, so they will be destroyed. And so Krishna Nam is not different from Krishna. But Krishna Nam is more merciful than Krishna. And of course, ultimately not different from Mahaprabhu. Mahamantra emanated from the lotus mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, it emanated from the lotus mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mukund Kirnahare Krishna Itivana Kamajantar Jagat Premi Vijayate Tadavayaha. So it emanated from the lotus mouth of Mahaprabhu and inundated the whole material world. So it's also non-different from, Mahaprabhu is non-different from Radha Krishna. So Mahamantra non-different from Radha Krishna, non-different from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Most merciful, more merciful than Krishna. Nama, Krishna Nam. Of course, Krishna Nam, they are not different, but still in the Kali Yuga, by chanting the holy names, we can easily approach Krishna, who otherwise may not be easy to approach. We have to have a guru. We have to worship Guru and get initiated. And under his order we may worship the deity of Krishna. Then we can approach Krishna. But Krishna Nam is more easy. Even without taking initiation, you can chant the holy names. And you're connected to some extent with Krishna. But then ultimately we have to take shelter of the spiritual master. And then we'll be able to chant better with his blessings, with his guidance. Padit Pavana Nama Nistarayana Radhamaha Radha Krishna Sarupaya Chaitanyaya Namo Namaha. Padit Pavana Nam is the deliverer of the most fallen, Naradama Nistaraya. Padit Pavana Hetu Tavavata. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to deliver the most fallen souls. And so also he brought Krishna Nam, non different from Radha and Krishna. But we offer our obeisances to Mahaprabhu, because by his mercy we can nicely chant the Mahamantra. And then we can advance nicely. And we become liberated simply by chanting the holy names. Jaiti Jaiti Namananda Rupam Murare Viramirana Jadarma Dhyana Pujadyatam Katamapi Sakridatam Muktinam Paramamritam Ekanam Jivanam Bhushanam De. So that is the ornament of the devotee, Krishna Nam. They are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. So Jayati Jayati Namananda Rupam. All glories to Krishna Nam, which is a form, no different from Krishna, the source of transcendental bliss, Paramanand. And it will stop the cycle of birth and death. And then by chanting Krishna Nam, everything else is included. Dana Pujadiyakam Nija Dharma, that is the actual Dharma, religion. The constitutional position of the soul is to serve Krishna. And in Kali Yuga, by chanting the holy names, glorifying Krishna, and then giving charity, worshipping the Lord, that is all included in chanting the holy names. So that is the abhushan, the decoration of the devotee. most dear to the devotee, most important for the devotees to advance. So simply by chanting nicely the holy names, then everything is included. So that is the most important activity. Then the senses are controlled by nicely chanting, the mind is controlled. Then giving charity can be there by chanting, telling others to chant, or by chanting loudly. Others are benefited. Even the animals, the trees and plants are benefited. So that is also charity. If one doesn't have much money to give charity to others, he can just chant nicely. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that anyone can do. So also the householders. So everyone has to chant the holy names very nicely. The more the better. So then Svadhyaya, Vedic, studying of the Vedic literatures, that is, especially for the brahmacharis, they have to study the Vedic literatures. But actually, even the sannyasis, they always have to try to learn more and more, because there's so much knowledge in the Vedic literatures, and the sannyasis, they have to teach others, they have to be able to defeat persons who are speaking against God consciousness or who are having some wrong philosophies. So therefore the sannyasis, they have to be actually most learned. So they have to constantly also, of course, to be able to help others and to defeat opponents, they have to know the scriptures very well. And there's so much to learn, so much to know. There's unlimited, the Vedic literatures. So the more one has knowledge, the better it is for oneself and to help others. So especially sannyasis, the spiritual master. So that is the brahmana. The wealth of the brahmana is the knowledge. So therefore they're constantly studying the scriptures. So, and the brahmacharis also, and then the brahmanas, they may be householders, they also engage in studying the scriptures because they have to give knowledge. And also the sannyasis. And even the vanaprasthas to be fixed. So they should also study the scriptures and perform austerity. So that is actually for everyone also. And the householders, in order to be fixed, they have to study the scriptures. They have to hear about Krishna. Svadhyaya is not just reading the books, adhyayan, but means to hear also from the spiritual master, from the advanced devotees. Because knowledge is important for everyone. Everyone has to get knowledge, to remain fixed, to be able to, even to be able to control the mind, because so many things are coming in the mind, wrong things. So by being fixed in this knowledge, nishtha, then one is able to control the mind and the senses, and then one can advance nicely and come to the highest stage of ruchi, when one will get the taste for chanting the holy names, and then everything else becomes secondary, and one will not have any taste for material things. And then one becomes strongly attached to Krishna, asakti. And then the transcendental realm will be revealed, Krishna's form, transcendental form will be revealed, and one's own form and relationship with Krishna will be revealed. And that is actually Atma Sakshatkar, self-realization practical. So we have to be constantly absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and especially as in this part of the purport, the householders. So they have to give charity, they have to control the mind and the senses, and they have to perform sacrifice. But everyone has to do that, even the brahmacharis, the vanaprasthis, and also the sannyasis. They have to help others, they have to give Krishna consciousness to others, they have to control the mind and the senses, and they have to be engaged in chanting the holy names, which is the Mahayagya, the great sacrifice in the age of Kali. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes. Where is the microphone? You can give him.
just sacrifice yaga, Sankirtan yaga in Kali Yuga is, we should advise people to have a Sankirtan yaga in their houses, just Grasta, we should help them that every month or any of their auspicious, just they have their birthday or wedding anniversaries or something, they should perform this sacrifice Sankirtan yaga in their house, invite devotees. So this is also that how we should help the Grasta, that you should have this yaga Sankirtan, just like it's Ashwini yaga is said that we do so many things. But in Kali Yuga only if you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, that will give you the benefit. This benefit, if we speak to our Grastas and say that you should perform this sacrifice yaga in your house, invite devotees and take association of devotees and call them and do this sacrifice yaga, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes. That is a good point, yes. Especially as I explained, when the different samskars are performed, then usually devotees are invited, and then there should be some katha also. And then naturally there's always Sankirtan also. Whenever there is a ceremony, even yagya, there's always Harinam, Sankirtan, because it is the Yuga Dharma. And everything we do, even if we worship the deities, but the Mahamantra should be also chanted for the pleasure of the Lord. Whatever you do, you cook for the deities, you cook at home, you should try to chant in between Hare Krishna, the Mahamantra. But of course, if you can invite somebody, that is natural. If there's any ceremony in the devotee's house, Grihasta's house, they will invite devotees, they will do kirtan. That is natural. We may tell also to the devotees, but it is natural that they will do. But if not, then we may tell them. If somebody, for example, is inviting me to their house, usually I always say, okay, but then we should have some kirtan also and some katha also. Krishna katha, that should be there also. Because even, yes, chanting the holy name is most important, but in the beginning, we have to hear about Krishna also. We have to hear about the process, how we can advance in spiritual life, how to chant properly the holy names without offenses, like this. So these things have to be told. But then, yes, everyone, whenever they're inviting somebody, it is nice if they have kirtan. Sankirtan should be there. Mahamantra should be chanted. Yes, good point. Anything else? Yes. Microphone?
One extreme is to be overtly attached to family members.
Yes.
Other extreme is being neglectful of the family
Yes.
members. And in Kali Yuga we are always short of time, and as devotees we have so many commitments. So how one can balance?
How to balance, yeah, yes. Yes, that is important. We have to balance our life in every way, like the eating, not eating too much, not eating too little, sleeping, not sleeping too much or sleeping too little. Sadakas, that is important. And same also with the family. So we should not be too attached to the family, but we should not neglect the family. Like in the beginning of our movement, as we have seen and heard, so they were so much eager to serve Prabhupada, the deities, and distribute books, go on Sankirtan, that sometimes when then they were married and they had children, they were still taking care of the children, but sometimes maybe a little bit neglecting, which is actually not good. The child needs a lot of attention. Even one time when Mataji was saying to Prabhupada, oh, she was a pujari, and then she got married and she had a child, and then she was lamenting to Prabhupada, oh, now I have this child and I cannot worship the deities. Then Prabhupada said, now you have a child, so that is, you should try to see that that child is very special, has been given to you by Krishna. So now you have to take care of the child. That is more important for you than deity worship. You should take care of the child. So Pujari is bathing the deities and dressing the deities. So the mother has to bathe the child and dress the child every morning. So that is there. So that especially when the child is very young and very small, you have to give more care, more attention, naturally. And then, but still you have to chant the Maha Mantra as a mother, and you should try to read and hear about Krishna. And so that is there, and you may do some seva still in the temple if possible. But the main focus then has to be on the child. Even when the child is getting a little bigger, 15, 16, that is also a crucial time. Then, so then you have to help the child by giving some time and discussing about Krishna consciousness, about the life. So the emotional aspect will be there. So we have to give time to the child. We cannot neglect that. But then we may have service in the temple. So, but then we have to try to balance. That is true. But when you have a child, so you have to take care till the child is an adult, 18, 20, 18, then is okay for the boys, even 16, even maybe you may send him to Gurukul, then you have less worries about him, but still some connection will be there, and you should see that everything is going nicely in the Gurukul. That is your duty also, responsibility. Not just, okay, I gave my boy to the Gurukul and now ho gaya, my duty. No, still. Because you have to see that is properly situated, and because not everyone will then remain brahmachari and become sannyasi. No, mostly they will actually become householders also, as we can see, practically speaking. Even in bygone ages, the brahmacharis and sannyasis, there were less, mostly householders. So only very few are able to remain fixed in brahmacharya. So therefore it is the responsibility of the parents to take care of the children till they are 18 or 20. For the girl, till the girl is married, they have to take care. And then the responsibility is given to the son-in-law, and he will have to take care. So therefore that we have to see, and then at that time, so that will be our main seva, taking care of the children. But then we have to chant still the holy names. We should have deities at home if possible, or if not, then take part in the deity seva, or just take darshan of the deities in the temple. So one has to be still engaged in deity worship to some extent, but it may be simple, because one has other obligations to the family members, to the children, and the husband has to go and work. So then, so many responsibilities are there, many duties. So, but there's no, if we are sincere, and if you are praying or taking the guidance of the senior devotees, praying to Guru, Gauranga and Krishna, then they will actually give us the intelligence to balance our life. They will give us the intelligence to balance our life. And so, therefore we simply have to take shelter of Guru, Gauranga and Krishna internally, because we cannot always, for example, ask the spiritual master for every little thing. So we have to, but then the Shiksha Guru may be there, we may ask him. But then we have to also see that Krishna is in our heart, Chaitya Guru, and we should turn to him also. Pray to him to guide us, so that we practically can balance our life in every way, so that we may not be attached too much to the family, and so that we also not too neglectful or detached. So the golden middle way is good. And we have to use our intelligence, and we have to pray to Guru, Gauranga, Krishna, and take the help from silly devotees who are experienced if we are not sure. Okay, is that okay? All right. Anything else? Yes. Yes.
In the Bhagavad-Gita, 7th canto, 7th chapter, verse 51-52, Prabhupada says,
Yes.
Thereby giving charity, austerity, knowledge, all this will not help you. Unless you are pure devotional services, then only Krishna will be pleased.
Only?
Krishna will be only pleased with the pure devotional services. Swayambhu Saprabodharma, Mother Bhakti-yoga, Ayatokila Bhakti-yoga,
Yes.
That's what given in the Shastras also, right? So, Prahlad Maharaj says is one of the Mahajans. So, which one is it's correct? Here, Lord Krishna says you do the charity, this, you do the austerity, the knowledge of those things. So, this thing contradictory, I don't know how
Contradictory.
How to understand this?
Yes, we have to reconcile. The different injunctions may be there in the scriptures by different great personalities, according to time, place and circumstances they give. But then we have to actually, if you're not sure what to do exactly, then we take shelter of the spiritual master. And then we ask him. And of course, Prahlad Maharaj is one of our Mahajans. But then actually even more than, for example, the Mahajans which are mentioned in Bhagavatam, more important for us are actually the 6 Goswamis. And especially then, we are known as Rupanuga Vaishnavas, following Rupa Goswami. So what they have told, what they have said, we should see that and try to follow that. So they are our Mahajans, more than even Prahlad Maharaj, Bhishma Dev. They have given very wonderful instructions, and we may also try to follow these. But even more important is actually to try to follow Rupa Goswami, what he has said in Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. So that is most important. So, and then, yes, and then Subhadev said there's sometimes some contradiction and we cannot solve ourselves. And so the same point again, then you ask a devotee who is well versed, and then so then he may help you to solve the problem. So like here it is mentioned, as you say, Prahlad Maharaj is saying something about giving charity and doing this and that, and then Krishna is saying that you just serve me, ahai-tukipa aparatihata, you follow your dharma and just for my pleasure. So you may see some contradiction, but actually there's you can always reconcile. And that everything is important, all the instructions which are there by Krishna, by the different great personalities. And so we have to see time, place and circumstances. But the most important activity, so that is in the Kali Yuga, that is always chanting the holy names. But then following also the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which has been revealed by the 6 Goswamis. So that we should try to see. For example, Prahlad Maharaj is more of Vaikuntha Bhakta, and saying that we should worship Vishnu, which is all right. But Rupa Goswami is recommending that we take shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and take shelter of Sri Radha and Krishna. So we do more that than worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So we respect Lakshmi Narayan, but we worship Radha and Krishna. We worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have to use our intelligence and pray to Guru Garang Krishna, take the help of the Vaishnavas. Then we can understand the things properly and we can reconcile all these contradictions which may be there. Okay, which are usually, appears to be some contradiction, but everything can be reconciled in Krishna consciousness. Okay? Alright? Is that alright? Anything else? Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So there's some Mahaprasad for everyone. Please come here.